physician assistant, success coach, and speaker here to help you get unstuck and create a life that you don't have to escape. So I am so happy to be back. I've had a lot of people ask, when are you going to start doing some more of the midweek motivations? They were extremely helpful. And I love getting the feedback because living in purpose means that you are doing something to sow into the lives of other people. And we don't live here in isolation. It is really important that we share our journeys. You may be thinking, well, it's nothing really super exciting about my life. But yeah, I guarantee you there's something about your life that you can share with me that will help inspire me along the way. So as you can see, I am in a different surrounding. I am in a place where they say concrete jungles where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can't do. So I'm gonna see if now that I'm in New York, if the city lights will inspire me. And what's the other part? Make me feel brand new and all that good stuff. So New York is a city that a lot of times when Randy and I have traveled and met people on our journeys who have never visited the US, they'll say, oh my gosh, I want to visit the US. I want to go to New York City because they've seen New York City on TVs. There's been tons of movies on, a lot of TV series. And when you look around and see the lights and all the people, there's just something about being in New York City. There's like this energy, and I can see why it seems to be very iconic. And a lot of people associate the whole United States with just what they see on TV about New York. And New York, I agree, is very unique. I've traveled to a lot of different cities and haven't really been in other cities that I would say look exactly like New York City. And that brings me to the point that you are like New York City. I am like New York City in the fact that we are all unique. All of us have different gifts, talents, and abilities and purposes that we've been put here on this earth to accomplish. And the question a lot of times is, well, what is that purpose? What is that gift? What am I here to do? What do I have? And without knowing the answer to that question, you can easily get stuck. So I talk a lot about being unstuck and creating a life you don't have to escape. So, what exactly does unstuck mean? So, the essence of being unstuck is really determining what success means to you. Yeah, you actually get to determine what success means. And a lot of times we are fed a narrative from the time that we start school what success looks like based on the metrics that society has in place. Is success that you have a certain amount of money in your bank account or in your investment portfolio? Is it the neighborhood you live in? Is the amount of cars you have, the type of cars, or where you get to vacation? Is that what success is? Or maybe success to you is having peace and joy and clarity and focus and health. So that's the first part of being unstuck, is determining what success means to you and going after that, allowing that to be your journey. And then secondly, being unstuck is knowing that you are not perfect and that you accept yourself, flaws and all, and love yourself. And I'm so grateful to be in a space where I love myself. I love myself, and I'm saying that because I am a recovering perfectionist. I used to like to have all my ducks in a row, all the T's crossed and the I's dotted. And that can lead to a lot of paralysis, a lot of stuckness. And what I realized as I got older and wiser and more mature is it's not necessary. It is not necessary because you're still going to get to that destination. And being unstuck is realizing that you do not have to wait for perfection, but love yourself as you are. Know that you don't need to become anybody else, and know that other people will love you just as you are. All right. So that is what unstuck means. So the question may become, how do you get unstuck, or what are some things that you need to do to get unstuck? And I am so glad that you asked. The biggest point that I want to leave with you today for midweek motivation is I want you to unlearn. All right, listen to this really closely. Unlearn that you have to have it all figured out before you make your first step. Got it? You don't have to have everything figured out before you start. And the reason why is even experts don't know everything about everything. And very rarely do I meet people who say that they knew what the entire journey was going to look like before they even took their first step. It reminds me of when I finished PA school and we had to prepare to take our national board certification exam. I studied, I met with people, we studied, I did exam preparation questions and studied some more, and I still never felt like I was ready to take the exam. I was not ready. And then finally somebody said, if you're waiting to be ready, you're going to wait for a long time because you are never going to feel like you are completely ready, that you can know completely everything to take this exam. So you better go ahead and go for it. And that's what I'm telling you today. Trust me. Again, I know what it's like to feel like, well, you don't want to make a mistake because you feel like if you make a mistake, then you should have never even started in the first place. But this is the mindset that will keep you stuck. It will keep you down in a state of analysis paralysis. You do not have to wait to become perfect. You do not have to wait to know everything because guess what? Even with your imperfections, you can still make impact now. And I'm going to repeat that. Even with your imperfections, you can still make impact now. Take the first step because when you take that first step, you will learn stuff along the way. You will grow along the way. You're going to become wiser, more skilled, more efficient, and you are most importantly going to develop clarity along the way because you may think that you want to do a particular thing or you may have a particular idea, but then as you start, it becomes more refined and it becomes more of a beautiful process, and then your end result sometimes look completely different from where you thought you would start it, but something that's more fulfilling. So if you're hesitant, if you're listening to me and you're like, yeah, that sounds good, but I don't know about that, I still have some reservations, or maybe you're fearful, maybe you've tried before and it didn't work out, so you're a little hesitant to begin, I want to leave you with 3 questions to ask yourself over the next few days. 3 questions to really ponder. The first question is, are you counting the cost of remaining stuck? Are you counting the cost of remaining stuck? So when you think about the cost, what are the costs of remaining stuck? So the costs are lost time in relationships, money spent trying to manufacture joy, because most of the time if you're feeling stuck, you're not necessarily feeling like you're living your best life. Maybe you're not happy. And so the world makes it very easy for us to spend money on things to try to make us happy. The peace that you're trading for ruminating thoughts, the what ifs. What if I should have? Well, maybe I can. Well, I don't know. I'm just going to stop. So, all that time that you're having these thoughts just circle around in your head, that's time that's lost. So, you make sure you count those costs. The second question I want you to ask yourself, are you beating up on yourself because you feel these nudges to do something different or indications of you being ungrateful or unappreciative of the life that you're living? Are you doing that? And if you are, I want you to realize that sometimes those nudges and those desires that are put inside of us are there to guide us into a different direction. So don't feel bad about it. Take time to really explore that and see what it's teaching you about yourself. I really believe that God has given us the raw materials. He's given us everything that we need for us to live out our purposes. And some of these desires that we have, I mean, we think that we just came up with these, but these were things that were embedded in us and coded in our physical and our spiritual. Hey, I'm in New York, y'all. Our physical and our spiritual DNA. And if it's encoded in you, then you're already set up to be successful. And then the last question that I want to ask you is, have you taken the time to visualize what if it works out? What if it actually works out? A lot of times when we're analyzing things, we spend so much time focusing on what if it doesn't work out? Like, well, if I did this, that's probably not going to work. But have you ever looked at the other side? What if it works out? What does that look like for you? I've done a lot of things, and a lot of things have been trial and error, and it's taken me courage. A lot of things I've tried have not worked out, contrary to popular belief. I heard somebody say before, everything you do, it always works out. No, it doesn't. And sometimes on the other side of that, I'm very grateful that it did not work out. But there are a lot more things that have worked out that did not work out. So I want to make sure that you are visualizing what if it does work out. have courage and faith and just try. And that's one of the things that I would say that I'm most proud of myself about is having the courage to at least try. So to reiterate today's midweek motivation to get unstuck, I want you to unlearn that you have to wait until you have arrived to get started. Wait until you have arrived to start working towards your dream, because you don't know what's waiting around the corner. If you just get started, you don't know what type of resources are there to help you, to accelerate you, or to complement those deficiencies that you have. So for me, I'm getting ready to get unstuck, get my hands on some warm gloves, go out here and get something to eat, and have fun on these concrete jungle where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can't do. Now you're in New York. Big lights, some will inspire you. These lights will. All right, y'all. Have a good rest of your week. Until next time. Bye.